Quiet Place Part 2, directed by John Krasinski, who is a very good actor. You may know from series like The Office or Jack Ryan. I am a really big fan of John Krasinski as an actor, but I became an even bigger fan when he directed the first part of A Quiet Place. I was so shocked by the first one, and I was very impressed of how he basically introduced a whole new narrative into the horror genre and made it so well that other people started following him and started making movies like Bird Box and many other movies which never got any close to the Quiet Place series. So the Quiet Place Part 2 basically starts off from the first day, which we don't see in the first movie. It shows you how everything started, what happened on the first day when the aliens or monsters or whatever they came, and then very quickly they move on to present day where John Krasinski is not there anymore and the baby is born and the family has to move from where they were. I was ready for a good movie. I got shocked way too many times watching this movie because there are just so many things that I've learned about directing from John Krasinski on this one. It's absolutely crazy. First of all, I am very impressed with his directing. Usually when people make sequels, they don't really put that much thought into it. The story of this movie is so simple. The family has to go from one place to another, and that's it. But the way this movie was executed is amazing. Like I said, I've learned a lot of things from this movie that I think many directors will like learn from him, because he made a simple story and gave so much suspense and intensity to this movie. Every single move the characters make, you are worried about them. Every single thing that the characters say or do, you are worried about them. And there are many movies that give you intensity with the background score, like slowly increasing noises. This movie is just silence. And I didn't know that silence could be this beautiful or this beautifully executed, because when you move around with Millicent Simmonds' character, who is deaf in real life as well, you don't hear anything. You see the movie from her perspective and how she is listening to things, and you also see it just like that. The sounds go dim, she hears very light noises, and that's what you hear. And when there's like things creeping behind her and she's not hearing anything, the tension is just too much. And in this movie, everyone has like a role, much larger role than they had in the previous movie. Emily Blunt's character had to do something, Millicent Simmonds' character had to do something, Cillian Murphy's character had to do something, the other brother whose name I don't know, he also had to do something, and they all did everything perfectly, and they all faced danger, which gave you a feeling that you were also there with them facing the danger. In movies like this, often there are like suspense that's created, but eventually it finishes with nothing. Like there's like high-rise music going on, like something's about to happen, but in the end nothing happens. This movie is not like that. If they show you something's about to happen, something happens, and the characters they fall into traps that look like they won't be able to get out from, and the way they get out of it is also like very creative. And that's the thing I liked most about this movie, because every time there was a suspense, it paid off, and John Krasinski, I guess, was ready to handle like all sorts of situations. And everything that happens in this movie is just filled with suspense. I haven't seen a movie that is this much intense in a while. I think the last movie is probably Quiet Place Part 1. Remember that one scene where she has to give birth and you cannot go on without screaming, and if you scream, the monsters are gonna come? Remember the intensity of that moment, the tension, the suspense? That's like triple in this movie. There are situations that these people face where you have to make a sound. And when you make a sound, you know things are gonna come. And when things come, how are you gonna handle it? There isn't much negative things I can say about this movie because it's so perfectly executed and it gave me such a good time. I don't even want to say anything bad. I just felt like this movie ended way too quickly for me. Like I've said this before. Whenever a movie feels shorter than it is, it's a good sign. It's a sign that this movie was fucking crazy, fucking good, and you loved it so much that you didn't know how the time went. So yeah, this movie was like that for me. I felt like this movie ended way too soon. And I'm pretty sure there's a part 3 coming in the future because unlike the first movie, this does kind of end on a cliffhanger. Pretty sure John is also gonna direct the third part and it's gonna be fucking amazing. So yeah, I think I'm gonna give this movie a solid 8 because it was fucking great. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, you know what to do. Just hit the like and subscribe and share with your friends if you want. And I will see you on the next video.